I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Vita and Chip.
And Lewiscaris, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
One of Sori's favorite bands.
Yeah.
This one is called As Icicles Fall. As Icicles Fall by Lewiscaris. If you want to see this one in their natural habitat, check out My Sori Life. And if you want to talk to me about Trump and how he was awesome for standing by the Saudis, you can check me out at Middle America with Vin and Sori.
Yep.
Political, religious, social commentary.
Links are in the description as well.
If you're the type of person that gets triggered by social conversations and political conversations, I don't suggest you subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe to mine. It's all about life.
Because I guarantee you, if you're a left-winger or a right-winger, you will be angry at me.
Either way.
All. Okay, Lewiscaris As Icicles Fall. This, I'm looking at the discography here. This comes after Play Cards at Kaleidoscope.
Oh, okay.
So, there you are. Portal of I from Neo, okay?
What?
And Portal of I.
Oh, okay.
And
Go.
let's go.
The cycle of life, feel the change. Her breath and frost upon the house, all man beating heart. Oh, see children, such colors to be seen. Sanguine glaciers, the hands of the preludes. For this is where she lies.
God almighty. Good
Play
lord.
your heart out.
Freaking Benji. This guy, he went unconscious on this song.
Was this about
Can you imagine hearing
Mother
this?
Earth and global warming?
Yeah.
I finally know.
Yeah, figured it out.
I did.
Yeah, I was halfway through the song. I was like, shit, we gotta start recycling. This is some life change. Literally. This is some.
I used
You
to
were
always,
always like a
I
green.
always was.
You're
There's
always
just
like a
so many
green-
bigger issues now.
No, there aren't. Freaking California wildfires and all that.
Honey, how are we going to get the kids to recycle if they're throwing away
The big homie Trump,
measuring cups and
you hear what
plates?
Trump said, he's like, well, you know, in Finland they rake the floors and so they don't have fires. It's like, okay. On a serious note, though, shout out to all the first responders and firefighters over there in California.
no kidding, yeah.
The reason I haven't shot a Middle America episode about it is because I don't have enough data or science to know either way what's going on. Basically,
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot of people saying that this is because we've had like the more severe of these,
Fires because
you know,
of global warming.
burnouts because of global warming. And then, you know, the other ones are saying, no, that has nothing to do with it and blah, blah, blah. So I'm holding my tongue until I can get definitive, science somewhere on it. But
Well, you know what? The kids were learning in school, like Sayla wanted to look up like how to, because it was saying like there's only a limited amount of water on the planet.
Right.
And that like we're not gonna get any more. So we have to, like use what we have properly and stuff like that. How to preserve water. And then Johan was watching some videos on like earth preservation stuff and he was really interested in that. So maybe if we make it like a family thing, then maybe they'll want to.
well, like literally this song, like really the way that he wrote this, it really like makes me go, wait a second. Because I'm not with the whole, remember that whole Candace Owens thing when she was going up against Joe Rogan? And Joe Rogan is like, why are you saying that you doubt climate change when all
Yeah.
the 99 point, and then she was like, well, and
I just don't believe it, she
Yeah,
said.
basically she doesn't believe it, and more fake news
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, if you believe that climate change is real, and I do, because the vast majority of modern scientists are saying this, like all across the board. And if you've got credible science that militates against it, I would like to know. But human-caused climate change it's a thing.
I don't see how somebody cannot believe it but my thoughts are, even if, let's say it's not affecting our climate, as in the temperature of our climate, just look at the pictures of us dumping into the oceans.
I know.
and stuff.
How is that possible?
It doesn't, you don't need to have scientific evidence,
Well,
can we please?
Yeah. It's that Peterson was talking about that kid who figured out how to get all the plastic out of the ocean, and that creates another moral problem because it's like, well, then once we figure out how to do it, then all these nasty companies are gonna go, well, we'll just keep doing it because we figured out how to do it, But I just first of all, right out the gate, this song is getting an 11 for me, and the reason is because the rhetorical force that got carried with this song has literally changed something I'm going to do with my life. And we've listened to 600 plus songs, and that's almost pretty much never happened.
Babe, what about it made you feel that way?
Well, because he took the angle of Mother Earth, and
Well, yeah,
I
I thought that he was literally talking about his mother till like halfway through, when he was yelling "mother, mother," and so I can see that was a very impactful part when he was the way he was saying.
Yeah,
mother.
but he was talking about like the icicle, and he was talking about the melting his blood and all this, and just the way that he wrote this so beautifully that it like really puts into full relief the crime of mismanaging the earth. And of course for me as a Christian, it's like, yes, we were taken from the ground. So there is a sense in which the
within
earth,
us she lives, and around us she's dying.
the earth is our mother in the sense that we were just like a baby's taken from the mother and presented into the world. We were taken from the ground by our Father, and so of course
I don't have a problem with Mother Earth.
he's probably on the Gaia side of it because he's a vegan. I don't know.
Well, this one was written by Tim. It said.
What?
Wait, well,
No.
I don't know. Produced by Tim.
We talked to Zen. He said he writes all the lyrics. We talked to the man personally. I'm not mad at Tim, but I can tell when Zen is writing something.
You can?
Yeah, I can tell when Zen is writing and Danny's writing. And I listened to some of Lindsay's stuff, and she's got her own style, but that was like her old school stuff from like way back in the day. She said on Twitter something about her solo project dropping, so watch out for that. Lindsay Schoolcraft, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, this is completely Zen, but this is just the most. But see, this is the job of the artist, man. Because I've sat and watched YouTube things about global warming, and I saw the Leonardo DiCaprio and what's his face. I don't know what the guy's name is. The president, vice president, Al Gore.
Yeah.
You know, this ticking clock, and it was all this alarmist stuff and all the rest of it. And for whatever reason, it just didn't appeal to me. I was like, oh, here we go, you know. It's probably because I've been in so many dangerous situations where somebody brings something alarmist up, I'm like completely insensitive to it. Like, I don't care. You know, like, because you know what I say to myself? It's like, I'll figure it out. I'll figure out how to make it out.
You'll figure out how to stop global warming.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, if there is some, like, catastrophe, like, because it's like, oh, you know, like, the land masses are going to shrink because we're going to have less resources, it's going to create more jihad and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, so the alarmist stuff doesn't really scare me because I feel like I'll find a way.
But this, like, the heart.
But it's just so beautiful. It's like it's irresistible. Irresistibly beautiful. I'm like, okay, we really got to figure out how to do our part, take care of our mama. Plus, you know, it's around Thanksgiving. My mom her birthday was is coming up pretty soon here, and she's with the Ains, so she went. She went to rest with her fathers, as they say in the Old Testament. So obviously there's like some
overlap there.
Some overlap there with me, but I mean, the way he was talking about gray and dripping the blood of mother, you know, and then she's in us, but she's in us, she lives around us, she's dying. Within us, she lives around us, she's dying. Fading lights blacken gardens euphoric, cowering the underworld ordered. The winds sing our dirge. This is where she lies. And then the way Tim did this thing in the beginning, be alright. I like the way Tim does it.
Oh my god.
Shout out to the big homie. No, I this song is amazing, an amazing song. Probably my favorite song in all the 600 plus songs I've listened to.
What?
I love this song. And it's, like I said, it probably has to do with the fact that, you know, my mom, you know, losing my mom, but like, look at the lyrics, man. Like, good lord. Good lord. What did he say? Her breath of frost upon the house of man's beating heart.
Wait, I didn't understand that part.
Beautiful. Well, it's like the picture to me is just like, you know, like when you see frost on top of a house during winter because it's wintertime and all the rest of it, but like so, you know, that's what nature does, you know, but then it's like inside of us too is being connected, you know, and again, Zen's probably vegan, very like in touch with the world and, you know, forests and things of that nature. But like the beauty of the earth and being connected to her and how close every season is into our hearts, you know, it's crazy. I don't experience that in winter. I experience it in spring, though. Spring for me, because the winters in Maine are just gross.
Walking in the snow doesn't inspire you?
I feel like I'm in Narnia with the White Witch.
So you feel like
always winter, never spring, which is he probably alluded to that here somewhere. Well, I took a picture. I put it on Instagram. When I was driving, I was in Portland, and I was driving. It was like 2 or 3 o'clock at night, and I was driving by these trees. So yeah, it actually does inspire me because I was driving by these trees and I stopped. I pulled over on the side of the road, and I was almost out of gas. But I was like, whoa! It was just one of those moments where I was like, whoa! And I didn't even take a very good picture, but it was like these trees, but then it had these power lines in it, and then I put in the thing like, if you were born in a wonderland, would you know it?
That's on Instagram.
Because you wouldn't know it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was just like a really cool, like, God moment, like, whoa, like, look at this tree with all this snow and whatever. Yeah. But then there was, like, this power line in the middle of it, and it's like, here we go. Right, you know, there's mines, you know, I would be able to take that picture and put it on Instagram.
Wouldn't have seen it.
Without man's you know, technology. So you can't disparage it. But
I think it's inspiring. I love going out. Last night I went out and walked in the snow.
it wasn't a good picture, but
Yeah,
I
because
liked it. It was a good
takes-
moment for me.
Like last night when I went walking in the snow and I was like looking at all the snow on the trees, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And then I took a picture of it, and the picture like didn't do it justice so much
Yeah.
that I couldn't
It's
do it.
almost criminal to post.
Yep. And then the way that the moon looked, because the trees were in front of the moon,
Yeah.
and the snow was on the trees, and the moon was beyond it. It was so beautiful.
So winter kind of does it, but it's just there's all the sludge and junk on the ground in Maine because you can't let the snow be the snow. Maybe if I could let the snow be the snow, but it's all sludgy and they put salt on the ground and all this, but like
And dirt, and
But
so it turned
spring is
brown.
where I really spring is where I'm like, oh my gosh, and everything's like, hey, resurrection, hey. Go ahead.
Oh, it's just interesting because, like, when I used to live in a house, like, they're not spreading sand and salt all over your property, so you can always look out your back windows and see all the wonder of winter out there, and it's beautiful and great. But now, like, living in an apartment, it gets all wrecked really fast. But then probably the springs are better because, like, the springs when you're in a house, you got water coming through your basement, you've got all these things you have to open up, and then you have the dog who's running through the mud and then running through the house, but in an apartment I wouldn't have all of those things. So maybe spring will be different to me because I was always like, mud.
Yeah. Oh man, this is. So usually I remember, it's Captain Planet. It's like these superhero kids, Captain Planet, he's or he, and they were fighting for Gaia, and the Gaia was, the spirit of the earth, or Mother Earth, and all this, and then people, and my mom was always like, "That's not good for you to watch that peer gun."
Oh really?
Well, I mean, it was straight up Gaia is, but
Yeah.
like, whatever. And my older brother, he was real impressionable, so he's like, we gotta help the earth. And my older brother was the first one that talked to me about global warming and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was dead ass serious. He
Well,
was like,
Dorian's been talking about it too.
yeah, but Junior was like a real, like, global warming is like a thing. He was talking that shit in like the 80s and 90s and all
Oh
that.
wow.
Yeah, he was like,
Where was he hearing that? School?
well, yeah, school and all that, and everybody was just like, ha, ha, ha. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, like the solar, the
Yeah.
solar system and da-da-da. And I'm like, well, then why do we still have winter if there's global warming?
That's what I always said stuff like that too.
So ignorant and stupid, but.
But then my father would say, yeah, but the thing is, he's like, sorry, when I was a kid, he's like, the snowbanks were legit so high that they had to put like a mandatory law where people had to add like a bright ball onto the top of their antenna of their vehicle. So you were looking at the tops of the snowbanks for antenna balls.
Whoa.
But he's like, at Christmas time, he's like, we'd have to walk to mass, and he's like, we go trudging through all those snowbanks because it was so high. He's like, you don't see winters like that anymore. I was like, I always wished for a big winter like that. Get snowed right in. How exciting!
Yeah. As the icicles fall, moments of reverence, the invention of all, everything calls, and every life line ignites. The tears of mother, everlasting season. There is one thing, that in league with the cycles of life, feel the change. That's after the flood, where that's probably some of the best, most beautiful poetry. I think it's in Genesis 8. That never gets talked about. Well, Sailhammer talked about it. He spent some time on it, which is why Sailhammer is one of my favorite biblical authors. But as long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never cease. And that's God saying poetry after the flood. And he, just talking about being in league with the cycles of life. There is this one. I usually don't like Jesus movies. The only Jesus movie I really like was The Passion. Apparently, there's a Resurrection movie coming out in 2019. Very, very excited for that.
No, you said that you liked the Young Messiah one.
The Young Messiah, yeah. Jesus when he's an adult, because he's always so corny and weird and not like the way. Well, I did like the Jesus in what do you call it? Ben-Hur, the new version of Ben-Hur.
Oh.
That Jesus was awesome. I love that Jesus. But all the other ones, he's just a little weird and floaty and stuff. But there was one clip of this in this Jesus movie. I can't find it. But he's walking through this garden or something, and then he's talking, and then he takes a pomegranate, and as he's talking, he just smells the pomegranate, just like but he didn't pick it. He just smelled it, and it was just like, yes, like Jesus would have been like completely like connected to nature and would have enjoyed, you know what I mean? And that was our first job, was to take care of the earth, keep and tend the garden. Like, it wasn't, God didn't say, you have dominion, now go and wreck it and abuse it and dump all your plastic into the freaking, into the Yansuf. Like, what the hell? Like, it's crazy.
I always feel like part of the reason why Jesus did stuff like that is, like, you know how my father does, he's been a builder all of his life and he works with wood a lot.
Yeah.
We had the wood stove, he was always working on wood projects and stuff, and so, like, the other day when I went to visit him and I hugged him, I smelled his clothes because it always smells like wood. And when he gets home from work, so he doesn't smell like body odor, he smells like wood.
Yeah.
And so I love that smell of the wood, and then it has the scent of the outdoors because he works outside. And so I kind of am like, I wonder if when Jesus was like smelling the fruit, if it was like because they created it. At one point there was no pomegranate.
Right.
And then there was a moment where the Father, the Son, and the Spirit said, now here's pomegranate.
Right.
And then, you know what I mean? Like, you can imagine them like smelling it together and stuff. So like, you know how, that always makes me emotional. You know how like smells bring back memories? And like it can bring you back like 15, 20 years. And it doesn't matter, like a certain smell will just suck you right back there. So like maybe when he was smelling that pomegranate, you know what I mean? Like it brought him back to the day that they created the pomegranate together, you know? Those moments. Because when he was on earth, the closeness that he had with the Father wasn't the same, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that Christians are not with this.
I always said that. I always said that.
No, you're right. This is again one of the things that we should be the leaders in the world about.
I know.
Like, hello, but then there's all this, convenient theology that feeds into capitalist ideology.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this has to do, a lot of the climate change denial, I'm not saying certainly, but a lot of climate change denial I think has to do with capitalism, and we would have to curb certain practices that generate, certain income streams, and so we're just going to say that the whole thing is just fake news and it's not real.
I think
and it's like,
maybe. As an individual family, why individual families make that, or
I'm talking about evangelicals as a whole.
Oh, yeah, probably.
But even the people behind them, the politicians behind them, and the right wing who is consistently denying something that there's almost a scientific consensus on. It's just weird, man. It's like, like I said, it serves certain capitalistic endeavors. And there's conspiracy theories around it. The Chinese invented it because they're trying to catch up with us GDP wise and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't know. But anyway, what a beautiful song. What beautiful lyrics. And then Benji went unconscious, Benji. What happened to you, sir? He went insane with his guitar work on this one. I feel like, okay, so Dime is my favorite guitarist. Head is my favorite person who plays guitar. Dime is my favorite guitarist.
Okay.
But I feel like this dude is like Benji. Like I feel like he's a virtuoso in the modern world, and I don't think there's a lot of those. Like a virtuoso is somebody who's just like the guy is like a scientist. Like it's insane. I'm gonna make a shirt called The Scientist and send it to you, Benji. You need to wear my shirt. But like his guitar work here was insane. I really, really loved it. And the guy Matt, with the heavy stuff and all that. You were a bad man too, okay? But Benji, I can't tell you how much I love this song. It was really, really good. Can you imagine? Play Flowers of Kaleidoscope, and then boom, Icicles Fall right after. It's insane.
See, I liked Play Flowers Kaleidoscope way better.
What?
Yeah.
No.
And I don't know if part of it was because with this video that was put up, I couldn't find Tim.
Yeah.
And so I was confused. I'm like, where's Tim? I was going like this. Where's Tim? Because, but I should have told myself, this is not an official.
Well, the band went through a bunch of iterations, remember? Remember Zen was talking about that in our interview?
He was in Play Flowers of Kaleidoscope. And then what, he's not in the next song right after?
What are you talking about?
What, am I confused? What's going on here?
Well, no, I'm saying the picture.
Yeah.
The picture was
Oh, I
probably
know,
taken
but they
before
think
Tim jumped
this
on.
person put the wrong picture in there, and so it threw me off for a while because I'm like, wait, what happened? Like,
You are hilarious.
where's what? Because I zone in on one thing. Yes, and I have a hard time to get off of that track. So I'm like, and then I was like, wait, what do we? And I was like, this time I want to figure out the freaking lyrics because I can never figure them out. So then I was missing some of like the feel of the music, I think, because I was trying to figure out the lyrics. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, I think this is about global warming. And then, well, at first I was sad because I thought that he was singing about his mother.
Well, he is.
Zen. No, his like physical, biological mother. And that was sad. I was like, how sad. And he's talking to his brothers, or who's he talking to? And I just felt sad, you know, and then I was like, wait a minute, no, I don't think so. I think this is something else.
Well, it was at Galatians 4. Paul says that Jerusalem below is in slavery to their children, but the Jerusalem above is free, and she is our mother. Mm-hmm. And of course, at the end of Revelation, you have the New Jerusalem coming down to the earth, and that symbolizes earth and heaven becoming one.
Uh-huh.
And so, you know, real Christian theology is not that you're going to go floating around in the ether for forever.
Uh-huh.
It's that we're going to be back on the earth in a resurrected earth and living out what we were
Right.
supposed to do in Genesis 1 and
Right.
2. Well, if that's the case, then Paul just said, Jerusalem above, that's our mother. So
Yeah.
that the earth, but that's the thing is like, Jesus talked about the restoration of all things. And so in Christian theology, the earth dies, but she also resurrects.
She also has the resurrection. Oh, that's
Yeah, so
interesting.
the earth
Right.
also resurrects, and the earth also comes back in a glorified state, in a state that's better than it was before.
Huh.
But that doesn't mean that we don't take care of her now.
Well, yeah.
Dumb butts.
Yeah, but it's the same thing that follows. We're not like, oh, we have a resurrection. Well, let's just kill each other.
Right. Yeah. Let me just let's not work out. Let's not do anything because we're gonna have a resurrection body. Like that's ridiculous. Like. You still need to take care of your body.
Yeah.
Like, or when you're hungry, you don't say, well, that's all right. I can starve myself because, you know.
Right, I'll have a resurrected body.
Yeah. The Paul says it, and he connects human suffering to the suffering of the planet. He says, I consider our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed.
Yeah.
For the creation was subjected to frustration, not by its own choice, but by the will of the one who subjected it in hope. So, and then he goes to verse 22. We know that the whole creation has been growing as in the pains of childbirth right up to this present
Why did you
time.
skip verse 21? And that the creation itself will be liberated from its
Oh, that's
bondage to decay and brought into the freedom and glory of the children of God.
Right.
Skip that.
I don't know. We know that the whole creation has been growing in the pains of childbirth right up to this present time. Not only so, but we ourselves. So it's like,
Yeah.
so Paul connects the and I think he's probably meta macro here in talking about the universe, but the most immediate would be the earth itself.
Yeah.
The earth itself that we're on. And so in Paul's theology, and it's interesting because Zen blames us for it, man's advancement basically, and so does Paul.
Yep.
You know, and
Yeah.
and then Paul's got this sort of theology where the earth itself is going to be resurrected once we get our act together.
Yep.
And of course, in our theology, the only way that Jesus is going to come back is if we make the earth a habitable place for him to come back. He basically is like, look, I'm not coming back till y'all figure this out.
Right.
So, caring for the earth is a major part of it.
Yep. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for the
Insane.
destruction of a people group and start figuring out how to.
Yeah.
Are
God,
you dispensationalists?
gosh. I love it. All right, what do you give the song? Anything other than 11's blasphemous, I'm going to disagree with you. But go ahead.
9.2.
Shame. 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 Zen, I know we've been friends for quite some time. I give you permission to completely disown Sori. This song is an 11. It's a great song. I can listen to it every single day for the next 30 years. Very inspiring. Definitely, I'm a very difficult person to change, to get my mind to change.
Yeah, I'm like blown away.
I'm extremely difficult to
Well, we'll
take
see
it.
what happens tomorrow.
my mind to
We'll
change.
see what happens with your recycling.
Oh no, I mean, I'll have this song.
So you're just gonna listen to it rather than recycle?
I think it's very difficult to get people to to call people to action in a way that isn't alarmist or self-righteous.
Yep.
Like that five-finger death punch.
Yeah,
song.
this isn't
It was
either, yeah.
The five-finger, everybody sucks, it's stupid except for me, and I'm not changing for anyone. But this one was like, it's just sad, man. This is our mother, and we're and there was no self-righteous like outside of you know.
Well,
Can you remember the words of our dying mother?
I was gonna say he has this collectivist approach.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Sleep, children, sleep. Such colors to be seen.
Did you see the Phoenix? But the Phoenix Empire expires, exhales, the curtain call to embers.
Beautiful.
I know, right?
Beautiful. So that's what I loved about it. There was no judgment in the song. It's just the sadness of
Yeah.
what's happening and like
Yep.
and there's however you want to look at it, whether you're a Darwinian or whether you're New Age or whether you're a Christian, you ought to have some loyalty to the earth
Yeah.
because you're just earth and water. Is what your bodily composition is.
Right.
Yeah, you should. So I just think it's an unbelievably important song. Good song, very very good song. Cheers. All right. I can't say enough. Important song, my favorite song of all time right now from Vin and Sori.
Well, there you have it.
I don't know. Everybody went crazy on this song, man.
Okay, so I'm giving it a 9.2. You're giving it an 8.
It's an 11.
Oh,
Unhanded me. An 11. Vin out.
sorry out.
Gone.